peoples. All right. Hi there. Welcome to Valentine's Love, Manifestation, Abundance, and Prosperity. Thank you for everybody joining. We had a quick question right before that I thought that I would address to everybody, and that is, what is this? Is this meditation more like hypnosis, or is this meditation more like meditation? What is it? And it's a combination of both, right? And so in a lot of people, meditation is, in a way, it's connection with your inner self. And there's so many different forms of meditation. A lot of people will meditate to connect with a higher source, to get clarity and insight. Some people will meditate to allow de-stress and to release anxiety, or even just find a level of peace of mind. You find most meditations will either most meditations, when you hear about it in like the general public, is about that stillness of mind, right? It's kind of like trying to get to that space of absence of thought, right? And you do enter into a state of theta state, okay, for all meditations. But a lot of times when you're doing meditations for just that peace or that kind of centeredness, or you're doing it to really kind of activate, open up your pineal and connect with spirit, you're not really using it to reprogram yourself, okay? And so hypnosis is really getting into your unconscious mind and shifting. It's like rewiring your mind, okay? So you're in that state of theta state, and you enter that even when you're getting an energy healing, when you're in deep state of meditations, maybe towards the end of the breath works and things, when you're in that space, even at the end of yoga class, when you're doing, when you're lying there and you're doing savasana. And so you're entering into that state where you're kind of allowing that conscious mind to step aside a little bit and find that deeper layer of inner peace, okay? At any given moment in your normal day, you're at Alta, okay? So you got, and then when you get really excited, you enter in beta state. That's like the super adrenaline seeking state, or that exciting state. But Alta is like your normal state. And then you go to theta, and then the deep sleep state, where you start to have those like deep brainwave and things like that, is your delta state. And so theta is that state that's right in between sleep and awake for the most part. And in that, you start to let go of some of your defenses, and that conscious mind can kind of step aside. We can communicate with your unconscious, which is a form of, your unconscious mind works in metaphors. That's why when you dream in metaphorically, right? So for this meditation, you get both that peace of mind, but you also, I hear what you're working on and working through. And for those that are tuning in online, you get the beauty of having the souls that are here that come live to gear the meditations for. Now, I wanted to be seeing that it is Valentine's Day. Woohoo, right? I wanted to make sure that, we include a little bit of love, right? Self-love, and it's interesting with the theme being prosperity and abundance. I always separate the two, but they're really unified in having everything in your life, right? Prosperity, think about anything that fits in a wheelbarrow. So money, possessions, belongings, things like that. And think of abundance as anything that doesn't fit in a wheelbarrow. Okay, so those are joy, love, happiness, good health, all of those like unmeasurable things on the physical, right? And, one of the biggest ways to actually achieve prosperity, so those money and possessions, is actually having a good sense of self-love. Your life is a direct reflection of your internal self. Okay, your internal thoughts, your internal beliefs, your internal value system, okay? And so what are you comfortable with and what are you settling for in your life is a representation of that. And when we look at love, it's what are we allowing and what are we attracting in our life, right? And so maybe some people are single that are tuning in. Maybe some people are in a relationship and the relationship maybe could go to deeper levels. Maybe there's a level of a barrier that you're blocking in allowing and receiving love because you're not giving yourself that love, right? And when you love yourself more, you also value yourself more. And then that's when your earning potential continues to rise. The things that you settle for kind of shift and change, right? So I want to hear, what is it that you're working on or working through, why you got attracted to, coming today. And, you know, so I can kind of gear something special for this room.
I feel like very blocked, like in everything, like walking dead. Like I'm not functional, like very low functional, and almost suicidal. Like
Okay.
I just think of dying, and that is like I think like I'm too broken to be fixed. Yep.
Okay.
And
Well, thank you for showing up. You know, I think
sometimes I feel not to tell because I don't want. I always wanted to give like good heal others. And give like I always wanted to be strong and give like healing and more power to others. That's why mostly I was keeping into myself. I don't want to tell anybody, even this group that is about healing. I feel like a little bit shy to tell that I feel like this because I don't want to bring the energy down. But then I said that I have to talk. I have to tell how I feel.
yeah. And being in that state of authenticity is one of the first steps towards transformation, okay? You know, so I think most people at some point in their life, they've felt beaten down and they don't know whether they can get out of a situation, right? I think anybody that's tuning in or other people in the room, they went through those periods of time. It could be a struggle, it could be a loss, it could be just a whole bunch of a series of events that pile upon that you wonder, can I crawl out of this hole that I'm now in a well and I'm looking up, but the walls look really, you know, silky, and, you know, how am I going to get any traction to actually get out of there, right? But, you know, the beautiful thing is that you have that will that's still in there, right? You wouldn't be showing up to get the work if you didn't believe on at least some point in some part of you that things could change, that you could get out of it. And that's the element of anything in life and any of whatever anybody's working on or working through, is knowing that the only thing that you can 100% count on with certainty is change. So things are going to shift, right? And if you just keep on showing up and you get more and more clear and more honest, then it's not about the big mountain, it's about taking the first step, right? And, you know, I mean, think about it sometimes if like your house is a mess, right? Let's do something like completely in a different realm. If your house is a complete mess, you have laundry piled up, the floor is dusty, the different things, the kitchen's a mess, it feels almost so much to even begin that you actually continue to create resistance against it. But if you just say enough is enough, I'm just going to take a step, I'm going to, you know, throw in a load of laundry, I'm just going to start this first dish. The sink's filled, but I'm just going to start, right? You'll notice that as you start to go, it becomes easier and easier, right? It's always those first steps towards change that are the hardest. But once you're in that flow, just go with the flow. Let the momentum continue to carry you to the next, right? So thank you for showing up, and thank you for being honest and vulnerable, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel that way. We're in a massive change and transition in the world and the planet, and from what I'm seeing in each individual people's lives, right? You know? But it's also a beautiful thing of saying, okay, let me embrace the Tower card, right? Let me embrace that everything's falling instead of trying to patch it up and put out the fires and trying to keep it going. Just let it all crumble, right? Because if it all crumbles, you get to rebuild it and design it the way that you want it to be designed, right? And I think that that's the thing that people hold on to certain elements, or they think they have to fix what isn't working, when sometimes it's just about restarting. Okay? We'll put some metaphors in that for hypnosis today too.
I've had a rough couple of weeks. I had a very emotional response a couple weeks ago that kind of just made my life be unhinged. And I've just been honoring the feelings and moving through them, and also asking the question, like, well, why did I have this emotional trigger? Is it from my trauma? Is it from what's going on currently in my life? And I've just decided to surrender to it, like being the tower, and just like not try to patch anything up, and really just honor what I'm going through every day. And I'm now seeing the light in the bigger picture. And I'm also like about ready to move. I have to move out of my apartment by March 1st, so I'm kind of like uncertain where my home's gonna be. So when everything is kind of uncertain, I'm just kind of like, I just explode, like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I think things are now starting to fall into place with my home, and I just got offered to go to this amazing workshop over the weekend for free, and I'm just feeling more, I guess, of that spark. And so also, I've always just wanted to take your hypnosis meditation, but I think it's divine timing. I'm taking it now, today, because I'm ready to invite more abundance and more prosperity in, instead of feeling like it's so out of reach. So I think maybe that's all correlated with my emotional triggers from the other week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that, because oftentimes we have these events and catastrophic kind of occurrences that happen that literally shake our whole reality, right? But it's in that we uncover things that need to be brought to the surface to transform our whole entire reality, right? For the better, right? It's like, if moving's a good example, right? Sometimes when you're moving, you're clearing out closets and drawers and things that, and you find things that you weren't even aware of, but also it allows you to clear out so much. But sometimes in those disorganized spaces that you might have, you might find something that's super important, or something that you need to look at again, or that you need to see. And that it is in that divine surrender. It says, okay, well, if everything is happening for me and nothing is happening to me, how do I look at that and find the value or the golden nugget out of it, right? And it's like, okay, so maybe this is, an event happening that brings some trauma to the surface, so that it's healed, so that isn't unconsciously controlling you in ways that you weren't even sure or aware of, right? And then, how does that get healed, so that you can say, okay, if this is part of my bigger picture of allowing deeper love, allowing more fulfillment in life, allowing more prosperity, if I had this little thing that was down there that was hidden, maybe it's not allowing, it's like cleaning up those other areas, right? And so it's trusting. Okay, we're going to work on those things too.
I want to talk about love.
Let's talk about love. Let's talk about you and me.
The collapse. The collapse is over. Knocking on lots of wood.
Say that again. The collapse is over.
The collapse is over.
Okay, so for those that are going through a collapse, know that it comes to a time when it's over.
Yes, and I feel very clearly that it's over, and I'm like, thank fucking goddess. Because it was a long, slow demise. And I felt like there was no getting out of it. And now I'm like, oh, thank God it's over. So I am now in a space where I'm like looking at rebuilding a lot of reparenting, and looking at how I can work on self-love, and also opening up to finally dating again, and feeling like a baby deer with like those shaky legs, like going on a date and being like, I don't know what I'm doing, like how do I be vulnerable and love somebody, but also, and then I feel all my walls coming up, and so it's like this very, like, it's almost like being a kid again, which is I'm trying to be really patient, but I'm also like, it's a little bit embarrassing. It's like so kind of embarrassing, but good, but really good. And so I'm just trying to see. I want to work on right now, like feeling safe to be like in touch with more vulnerability and self-love, and kind of being also more kind or tender to the people I'm dating, instead of being like, I don't know if that's gonna work for me, which is what I find my default is, to be like, no, and I'm like, well, maybe we can slow it down and take a little more time and be a little kinder, and see, give it a little more space to evolve.
Yeah, and give yourself that space too.
Yeah.
Which is a very normal response, right? When you're going through trying to climb out of a well, you're in defense mode, right? And you're in self-protection and preservation mode, right? So how in that space did you even have room?
Yeah.
Right? And so now you've had to climb through and get out of this situation that you couldn't allow yourself to feel vulnerable, because otherwise you'd feel like you wouldn't be able to hold it together, right? And so there's this unconscious defense mechanism that said, I'm not allowed, so I'm going to just keep on plowing through, right? So we're going to break that down today. We're going to allow everybody that's tuning in to open their heart a little bit more. And really what that's about is opening your heart a little bit more to yourself and knowing that it is what it is, right? And continue, there is no need to figure out whether you're doing it the right way or you're doing it the wrong way. It's just you showing up in your truth, right? And the right alignment is going to be the right alignment, and the wrong alignment is not going to feel right, and it's okay to say no, right? Okay. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. So you are invited to lay down if you'd like, because it is a little bit longer of a meditation. For those that are tuning in, you can lay down. If I have any people that really are about meditating still sitting up, you can definitely do that for this meditation as well. I just invite that your spine is completely straight. Your hands can go at your hips, and that helps form a little bit more solid straightness of your spiritual channel. So as you lay down and you relax, or as you sit up and you get perfectly into that space, I just want you to get comfortable. For those here, there's blankets, eye pillows, all of that stuff. If you need an extra blanket, any of the extra ones next to you on the left or the right. And allowing yourself, if you put your hands at your side, you can put your palms up. And that just allows for there's these chakras in the palms of your hands, and that's allowing you to receive. It's one of your receiving centers. And today it's about receiving. It's about receiving that beautiful unconditional love for yourself, for the changes and transformations that you're going through, for the time in your life right now. This is about you. And this moment right here, right now, today, you decided that you were important. And a part of you also knew that somewhere deep inside that you had the ability to shift things in your life that don't work for you. To allow yourself the strength to plow through, to change, to alter different things. And so I invite you to give yourself a little bit of pride, a little bit of acknowledgement for taking the time for you. Because so often through our days, we spend so much of our time staying busy, doing the things that we need to do, or the responsibilities and obligations that are a part of our life, and we find ourselves going through the motions and just continuously. One activity or event leads to the next and the next, and we find ourselves in this state of motion. And we seldom stop to just take note of where we're at, of how we feel. But right now, right here, today, allowing yourself to tap into yourself for a moment. To notice yourself in a way that maybe you haven't paid attention to yourself recently, or even in a long time, like slowly allowing yourself to feel your body. And noticing your left leg or your right arm. Noticing how those palms of your hands feel, or maybe your soles of your feet. And as you pay attention to your feet, these feet that lead you forward, your toes that point forward in life. Every step you take is motion and momentum to change. And these feet, your left foot perhaps feeling slightly different than your right. And as you pay attention to maybe certain areas in your body that feel a little stiff, and maybe certain areas in your body that feel relaxed. Noticing your shoulders, or noticing your breath. And breathing is such a powerful force, isn't it? Automatically, unconsciously, you will breathe normally, without a thought, without a concern. But if you allow yourself to pay attention to your breath, If you take a moment to allow yourself to focus on it, you can give that breath power. Power to relax you, power to bring you into a centered alignment. And I invite you to breathe very deeply into the pit of your stomach for a moment and hold it. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And slowly let it out. And as you allow yourself to feel that wave of calmness that enters in on that exhale, you're going to invite another breath in. This time giving yourself love, joy, happiness with your breath in. And as you hold it for a moment, just seek and allow that breath to grab a hold of any stress, any anxiety, any fears, any worries and concerns, any unsettled energy inside, and allow it to be released as you exhale out. And as you continue to breathe in and you continue to breathe out, this is your time and this is your space, and I want your mind to start to drift and dream away. Now, very easily you might have some thoughts that enter inside, and that's okay. Whatever you're thinking, just acknowledge it. So often we try to just push our thoughts out of our mind, but they keep on knocking. And so instead of hearing the knock, just hear the thought. And as you allow yourself to pay attention to that thought, just invite it to fade away. And you'll notice another one enters inside of your mind. And as you draw in your awareness to that thought, paying attention to whatever that is that you're thinking. And you can say you can come back later on, another time, another point, another day. And allow that to fade away. And you'll notice before the next thought emerges that there's a space in between one thought and the next. And I invite you this time to pull yourself into that stillness, into that space in between one thought and the next. And as you pull yourself into that space of stillness, just feel that energy as it starts to take over your whole body. That nothingness, that space, that free-floating feeling like you're floating within this room. You may even start to feel like a feather floating in the breeze. If you've ever watched a feather just float as the breeze carries it, so slowly and softly it starts to wave a little to the left, a little to the right. And that breeze will pick up, and then it will float that feather a little up, and then it will start to fall down, swaying back and forth once more towards the ground. As you feel this lightness of yourself, free floating right there. And allow this awareness to expand, to feel at one with and a part of this whole entire room. Losing track of time and space, of boundaries, feeling yourself melting into the floor beneath you. And allow yourself to expand that awareness to feel at one with this whole entire place. Your whole entire city. And you can expand that awareness even beyond if you'd like to. To feel at one with and connected to and a part of so much more than that. Feeling one with and a part of and connected to even more and more and more than that. Expand. Feel at one with your state, country, and beyond. To the point where you feel a part of and connected to this home called planet Earth and beyond. To the whole solar system, to the whole galaxy, to the whole universe, as you feel and you know that you're a part of everything and everything is a part of you. Interconnectedness, oneness, expansion. And in this infinite vibration of infinite possibilities, it's time to draw upon for you the vibrations and the energies that fulfill you. It's time to see yourself as the perfection and the light that exists, so perfect and whole and complete, part of this whole system. Divinely perfection you are as you feel that within. And as you feel that and you have that awareness, allow your mind to drift and dream away. Maybe to a memory, a time in your past of peaceful, calm, serenity. Maybe you can even imagine seeing in your mind's eye the ocean and the way that the waves splash upon the shoreline. That powerful force, the beautiful interconnection of all the elements, the sun glistening on the top of the waves, and the way that they fold upon each other and splash upon the sand, flattening it, pulling back into the ocean once again. I don't know if you're like me, but that flat, beautiful, fresh, wet sand is so enticing that I just want to put my handprint in it. I even sometimes feel the urge to draw, and you can imagine writing the words within it of deep sleep. And seeing the words manifest right there before, creating that with nothing more than your fingertip as you feel the ease and the peace and the way that it puts you at ease. And you hear in the distance another wave coming upon. And you step back and that wave splashes right upon those words. And as the water pulls back, a flat surface emerges once more. And you write one more time, using that finger, writing so beautifully, deep sleep. A calmness, a relaxation, this force from within. And as you stare at those letters and as you feel that force of calmness setting in, stepping back and feeling that wave splash upon that sand and those words. And as it pulls back, a flat surface emerges once again. And as you allow yourself to go deeper within, as you take that moment and see that nothing is forever, even the words that you write soon will be smooth once again. And that's life, isn't it? We go through these circumstances and situations, but the reality is nothing is forever and things change. Even the pain or the difficult moments that we find ourselves in. And there's a force that smoothes things out, that brings it back to that beautiful smooth surface once again. The ripples and the destruction don't last long. Even when you allow yourself to see the forces of nature that happen even through the different civilizations that have been. It might seem like destruction for a moment or two with old, maybe civilizations, a city that you can imagine in your eyes. But if you've ever walked down a sidewalk and you've seen a tree start to uproot the sidewalk, you know that it's just a matter of time before that debris becomes beautiful in nature again. And so as you allow yourself to drop down within yourself, as I count down from 5 all the way down to 0, we're going to enter within. Your heart space, the core of you, this ability for you to tap into the love and the centeredness in you. Because today it's about allowing and honoring love in your life, truth of you, knowing that you are more powerful than you could ever imagine. You just forgot from time to time. You let circumstances and situations create compromises and sacrifices in yourself. You forgot that it's okay to just be you and explore and know that even if you're starting something new, it's okay to not know. You don't have to do it right or perfect. You just need to show up as you are and trust that it's all going to be okay. It's always, always okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. And there's a learning and lesson from everything that we go through. And the more that we trust in that, the more we don't allow the outside world to cause demise on our inner state, because we see it as an experience and we allow ourselves to go with the flow like a river that flows, and we don't resist the dam that was put there in its place. We know that that river will find its way. It will find its way through the cracks. It will destroy the force that has been put there, because you are the river so powerful. And the more that you see your fluid in, you can navigate whatever it is, but forever flowing. And the more you go with the flow in life, the more you allow yourself to look to the left and the right. And enjoy the scenery of each and every day, of the beautiful journey that you're on, and knowing that right now, right here, today, this moment, you're in the perfect place for you. And feeling that, and connecting to yourself, connecting to the love that is in you. And how do we allow ourselves to love ourselves a little bit more? How do we find ourselves to be the best person for ourselves? If you take a moment to think of your idols, role models, people in your life, and you think of the people whose lives you might think have it all together, the people that you looked at as your goals or your torch or your light. And I ask you internally to think for a moment, would you change places with them if you could? Would you forget your life and your existence and step into somebody else's, losing all of the things that you cherish about yours? Or would you stay being you? All of your memories, all of your joys, all of your challenges, even the struggles in your life. I bet you would pick to stay you. Because even as idealistic as somebody else's life may be, they all have their struggles and their challenges too. But also there's something deeper than that. There's a part of you that truly loves you. And when you realize that and you say to yourself, yeah, would I really want to change my life and be someone else? Like one of those movies where people switch bodies or switch lives and roles, where the person becomes somebody different with a magic genie bottle or whatever the case. Would you switch it? Or would you stay you? And when you start to realize that there's so much that you would miss about you, that there's so much that even in the darkest moments, even in your dimmest periods in time, you would choose you. Because you're pretty amazing and you're special and you're important. And you're the only you this whole entire world has. And even if there's things that you're working on and working through, even if there's lessons you're learning, that's part of the process, that's part of the game of life. When we stop and taking things so seriously, taking us so seriously, we can enjoy this game. We can say we suited up, we're here. You're wearing the suit, you're wearing your skin suit, you're here. And you're not here just to sit on the sidelines and say, I'm not sure whether I'm good enough to play yet. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be okay. I'm worried, what if I break my ankle or my leg? I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and I'm going to watch everybody else play that game. You suited up. You're here. The game's going on. Don't you want to go inside and play? Because even if you get an injury, even if something happens, it's so fun to be in there. You're here to play. You're here to experience. So whatever area you're sitting on the sidelines in your life, some of you in this moment right now, it might be love. Might be looking at and seeing people in relationships coupled up, or it might be you're in a relationship, but are you wearing your guard up? Are you afraid to play the game of falling deeply, madly in love, allowing yourself to love yourself? Are you afraid to play the game of success in your life? Are you afraid to allow yourself to play your dreams and allow them to manifest? Because I know when you tap into your heart, there's the things you want to do, there's the elements you want to create, there's the games you want to play called your life, the different components from health to love to career to whatever that is, you name that game. And you've gotten ready, you might have even learned certain things, you might have even allowed yourself to start the process, but have you been playing it safe? It's like showing up for practice and saying, okay, I'll practice. I'll get on the sidelines, I'll kick the ball, I'll do the things, I'll be there. But when it comes to game time, oh, the stakes are too high. I don't know if I'm ready. You'll never know if you're ready, not unless you just dive in. You don't show up at a swimming pool to go swim and barely stick your toes in. It's not how it works. You're there to swim. You're there if you're at the ocean, and you're there to dive in, to feel the waves against your skin, not just to stand in the sand and say, I'm safe here. My water seems really nice. I'm getting kind of hot here with the sun beating down on me. You know, that water looks really nice. Look at all those people having fun, surfing or swimming or even diving and jumping up on the waves. But I'm sitting here because I'm wondering, am I safer here than diving into, walking into that ocean, to feeling the waves against my skin? You might not be the perfect surfer. You might not be the best swimmer. You might not be all of those things. You might not feel that you're ready for that relationship. You're ready for love. You might not feel that you know everything about how to be the successful person that you were born to be, or those creative endeavors that are inside that you don't know how all the puzzle pieces fit perfectly. I'll let you in on a little secret. You'll never know until you do. Theories inside of your mind are useful or useless until you allow them to be played out in reality. You can read every book. You can prepare all you like. But real life and going there and experience, it's going to give you everything. And there is no failure. There's only feedback. Trust in that. It's been the story of your entire life. You've never failed. You didn't ever make any mistakes. You've put yourself in situations where maybe it's been challenging or it didn't show up your way. But I guarantee going through those experiences, going through those heartbreaks or those disruptive situations or whatever it may be, I guarantee that you learned, you grew, you evolved. And who you are today is as a result of all of those quote unquote mistakes. No mistakes. No failure, just feedback and learnings and lessons that help us grow, that stretch us beyond our comfort zone. And the more that we get stretched and the more that we allow ourselves to feel and do, the more we are here living life, really embracing it. Experiencing, traveling, and allowing ourselves to take in a different scene. You didn't show up at the hiking trail to look at the mountain and say, oh, look at all those trails. You came to climb it. And one step at a time, if you've ever hiked, you know that it might seem like the summit is very high up there. But if you just take it in and enjoy the time, enjoy the hike, enjoy the view, one step at a time, that's all it takes. One foot in front of the next. And at a certain point, you'll stop and turn around and see how high you've climbed, how far you've come, because every day is a step forward if you allow yourself to see. It's kind of like the days being a puzzle of life. If you see the jigsaw puzzle, if you've ever tried to put a jigsaw puzzle together, maybe like one with 1,000 pieces, 10,000 pieces, ones that seem very complex, that is your life. And each of those pieces hold a different image. And sometimes you don't understand where they fit just yet. And you can allow yourself to grab that piece to go through that day or that event, and you can say, these colors are so dark, this piece is so rigid, how is this fitting into my life? I don't understand. Why am I going through this? And you can't see where it fits. You don't know where the puzzle connects. But if you look at that piece and you trust that there is a place for it to fit perfectly. And you can set it down. And you can keep going upon your day. Going upon the days of your life, new puzzle pieces will come into play. And you'll start to put together this beautiful masterpiece known as your life. And each piece will find its place. And the pieces that you wanted to discard, that you didn't understand, that you didn't like the color palette, you didn't like the rigid edges, you didn't like the darkness of those pieces. As you start to put it all together, you're going to see that those dark, rigid pieces, those were what gave the definition to the light, most beautiful aspects of your life. It gave that definition. It caused the picture to pop. It caused you to be who you are. The brightness, the masterpiece, the truth of your life. And as you allow yourself to start to get comfortable with those pieces, with those times, with those aspects now, with being at a beginner mindset in certain areas of your life of saying, you know what, I might have been out of the game for a while, but it's okay. There isn't a right or a wrong. It's listening to myself and saying, do I want to play this game? And I can't play it by playing it safe, by putting up my shields and holding myself back, by sitting on the sideline saying, you know what, okay, I'm safe, I'm not going to get injured. You guys play your game. When deep down inside of your heart, you're looking out in jealousy, you're looking out at that game and you're desiring to be out there and play, to feel what it feels for the wind to hit your face, for you to be engaged, for you to fall in love, for you to allow that creative endeavor to manifest in reality, for you to have the life that you dream of, with the house and the vacations and the lifestyle that you long for inside of your vision and in your dreams. No more delaying and hesitating, procrastinating and saying, one day, someday, I will put in that effort and I will try one day, someday when I'm ready, because I hate to give it to you. If you keep that up, your tombstone is going to say, born, waited, died. As hard as it might sound, that's the truth. Born, waited, died, for fear of making a mistake. Wasn't sure if I was fully ready, so I held myself back again and again. But when are we ever ready until we dive in? Are you ever going to know whether the water is the perfect temperature until you dive in? Or can you allow yourself to trust? Trust in you. And this beautiful experience that you showed up to swim, you showed up to play, you showed up to do. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't matter what anybody else says, because this isn't their life, not their story, not their journey. This one belongs to you. It's your masterpiece. It's your puzzle pieces that are fitting together. This is your story. They have their own. Don't worry about them. They have their views of what works and doesn't work for them, but you need to listen to what works and doesn't work for you. This is your life. Uniquely divine, and isn't it interesting? Over 7 billion people. There's not another you. Coincidence? I think not. Divine and special. Let's stop comparing our insides to everybody else's outsides and just take it in and say, I'm here. And that's okay. I might be just starting in this realm. I might be just beginning in here. I might be just getting myself back out there. I might just be wherever you are. That's perfect. No need to be anywhere else. Your story, your journey. How do we find that joy of just this moment, this gift, this experience right now? I know you know what I mean. And the more you allow yourself to feel that, the more you allow yourself to know that, the more you take that all in. And with this breath of fresh air and this ability to breathe and this ability to harness this inner peace that starts with you and this magical existence called life, swirling around this atomic bomb called the sun. The magic is in every moment, the specialness, and the more you awaken to the beautiful gifts of just feeling this moment, your cells all working together to create this unique identity called yourself. With no more compare and despair to anyone else. Your journey, only compare where you are right now to tomorrow and the next day and see the progression that you make. The small steps, the large steps, the strides, the advancements, the steps, it's okay. But no longer holding yourself back saying one day, someday, maybe I will be. Okay to allow myself to go after what I truly want, my heart's deepest desire, prosperity, abundance, love, joy, creating those creative projects or experiences or going to those vacations or seeing those places or having the life that you long to have. It's right here. You're suited up. Trust in yourself. You got this. If there's one person you can count on, it's you. You've always been there. Going back and realizing no mistakes, no failures, just feedback. And paging through the sequence of your life like a photo album that shows you time and time again. And those times when you thought that something was turning out all wrong. How when you got into the future and you looked back, you saw that it was all unfolding perfectly, that you learned or you grew, or that led you to take this path that got you here or there. And you see the beautiful stream of events like a domino effect that led perfectly. One just knocked down the next to the next that led to the next. And you often don't see until you're further ahead, but if you can have that innate trust right now, you can swim in the perfectionness of you and say, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to experience these emotions. I'm ready to see what my talents can create. I'm ready to live my best life yet. I'm ready to love and be loved. I'm ready to have and to create. I'm ready to heal and to become and fill in any other blanks. And as you feel this and you allow this energy to swirl inside of you, as you feel this inside and allow this to anchor into your truth, right now, today, anchoring that in. And as you allow yourself to breathe, breathing in and breathing out, infinite love, trust, and confidence. That's right. Showing yourself love today and every day. And even if it might be a day of love and celebration of love, show that love to you. What's one thing you can do for yourself today to be kind, gentle, and loving and nurturing? To give appreciation for yourself in this life, to live and to experience, to do and to create. Let go. Letting go. In a few minutes, I'm going to be waking you up out of hypnosis. Before I do at 0, just going a little bit deeper. So each night, regardless of the day and regardless of the experiences that you've experienced, when you decide to fall asleep at night, you're going to fall asleep deeply and quickly. You're going to sleep well through the night. And while you sleep, your mind has this ability to release all of those old, unwanted, unconscious beliefs of limiting yourself, of holding yourself back, of not trusting and be all that you can be. Let those all fade out. So each night, regardless of the day and regardless of your emotions, when you fall asleep, sleeping deeply and quickly and through the night. And in those early morning dreams, venting out, releasing those old patterns, those old stories. Because you're ready to play the game now that you suited up for. You're ready to see how much you can create, do, and have, and allow and feel in this life. There's a curiosity brewing inside that wonders how deep you can fall in love, how much success can you achieve, how much of those beautiful ideas can you create. There's a thirst inside and a curiosity that says, I got this. Let's explore. I'm ready to play this game of life. Letting go. So when I count up from 0 up to 5, on or before 5, opening your eyes, completely unsuggestible and wide awake. 0, deeper. 1, closing the door to the unconscious mind, making sure all the suggestions are locked in and effective. And at 2, becoming aware of your body. 3, total sense of positivity. Feel that positivity, feel that love, feel that energy, that excitement, that joy. Feel that. And at 4, aware of the room. In 5, slowly coming back, feeling your fingers and your toes, curling them a little bit as you feel your body, allowing yourself to come back into you. And you can slowly make yourself back up into a seated position. Welcome back. You're welcome. If anybody wants to share anything or have any questions. All right. Processing is good. Yeah. Either of you? No? Just processing. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Of course, you can rewatch this meditation and join us for any of our other meditations that we live stream. But, you know, sometimes even reprogramming, if you're going through a lot of wanting to manifest love and that confidence in your life, listen to this a couple times, even right before you go to bed, and then allow yourself to just fade off. Thank you, and until next time.